Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another exciting, innovating, amazing, spectacular Propagandacast from your host, Imperial Dane, the one, the only master of propaganda, heroes like defender of the fatherland. Off here to a glorious 1v1 on Langraskaya in the north. It is Markov. Fighting here for America, freedom, democracy, here with the 6th Armored Division, tasked with punching through the lines somewhere in, France. With Recon support company chosen, featuring raid tactics, INR Pathfinders, airdrop combat groups, the M8 Greyhound, and the M83 cluster bombs. With triple infantry vessels south, it is Jimmy. Fighting for the Wehrmacht, Germany, Deutschland. Here forming up with the 1 and 6th Panzer Brigade, with Ostruppen, Blitzkrieg, and Jaeger infantry with triple infantry bulletins. We got Grenadier MU42 for him versus Dobrapsat here for Markov. And as always, a big hearty thanks to my patron supporters, these champions, these heroes of the Propagandacast who keep me in the business, and without them I would not be able to, do over 3,000 episodes. So do consider joining the ranks if you enjoyed the Propagandacast and just donating. Links in the video description via Patreon or PayPal. And of course, as always, comment, like, share, subscribe, press the bell button, do the dance. So we're off to the races here in the East. Americans steadily advancing in the air for the glory of freedom and democracy. In the centre, Pioneers advancing there for Deutschland. MD42 backing up against on the west side there. Worth noting, he's not going straight for the fuel point. He's more focused around here, the centre, and possibly setting up a pin on his opponent's card point. Bit riskier, there's the Wehrmacht. Or perhaps he's not planning that. He's just hoping to hold the centre and then move westwards. Hard to say what he's planning. I mean, it could be he's just hoping to cap Markov, constantly charging the fight with the centre while then secure the western point. It's a bit of a bold strategy then to, bet on that one. But we shall see if it works out. Eastern point is seized by Markov. 3rd Ralph squad there for him. And we got the 2nd Grenadier squad almost down there for Jimmy. Ralph squad about to clash with the Grenadiers in the west. Kar-9 cases was the M1 Garand. Bolt action versus semi-automatic. 3rd Ralph squad almost down. There we go. Grenadiers holding back the Ralph squad. Range machine gun ring in there. So at least not just keeping it there. Very good. Using a machine gun attack to support your Grenadiers is actually crucial. That's the Wehrmacht I find. In the south here, Grenadiers versus Ralph squad. Interesting enough, he's not closing on the Ralph squad. He is probably worried about the machine gun being nearby, since Markov at this moment does not know where the MD42 team is. So he's not going to try and rush the Grenadiers here. That's probably why he's staying at range, because otherwise, if you knew where it was, you just rush up the Grenadiers with the Ralph squad and just speed them up close. But at range, the Grenadiers actually have a chance there. But again, the trick is, how do you keep the riflemen at range? And that's, the big one. So that simply have to rely a bit on the psychological effect of the opponent not knowing where your machine gun is, I guess, to a degree. Bit risky, though. Grenadiers moving up here, Ralph squad, they're moving about the machine gun inside the building. So there we go. One engagement here for Jimmy. Could also be just too preoccupied with other things. Hard to say though went on, but had I think Mark had been aware of the machine gun was, he probably would have rushed the Grenadiers and just straight up beat them, because up close the riflemen have a significant DPS advantage over the Grenadiers. The point is not even funny. Ralph got right on the west, but then 42 Grenadiers backing up. Pioneers got moving up as well there. So far, Jimmy is a bit on the back foot in terms of territory, but he's sort of winning the engagements fairly efficiently. I mean, we see he's lost 1 Grenadier so far versus 5 dead riflemen, of course 2 squads for Markov. That is obviously fairly good, manpower economy. So for Jimmy and momentum as well there. Again, highlighting just the power of the MD42. How crucial it is to the Wehrmacht. Grenadiers advancing here. Machine coming up the flank covered. So pushing straight for the car point here. 4th Grenadier squad here for Jimmy. Could possibly indicate Jaeger infantry. Some players like to go for G43. In fact, with the sight of the G43 getting buffed with the upcoming commander update, whenever they fix the issues with it, it's going to be stronger. So it might be here, of course, we are seeing more players willing to experiment with the G43 upgrade. Plus, versus the Americans, it's just good already, to be honest. Ralph squad pushing forward. We've got Lieutenant out from Markov. Very good. On the west side, sandbags up there. Might have been beddling down some S mines here and there, but oh well. Up close, Grenadiers being completely mauled, but the Ralph squad turning around here, of course, only makes the situation worse for Jimmy's Grenadiers, and he's forced to fall back. Machine gun arriving finally, but a bit late to the party there. Grenadiers setting out and then eastwards. Tech down as well there for Jimmy. Keeping the Americans theoretically occupied, but they're already out the fire. The MD42, they're forcing into position. Heading eastwards to the Grenadiers. Perhaps hoping to go straight for his opponent's fuel point and force Markov towards reacting to that. Would not be a half out of here for Jimmy. Grenadier reinforcing, getting the light machine up on them as well. Sehr good. Ralph squad moving westwards. The average, standard Grenadier squad of roughly 8 to 10 men, depending on the point of the war, and of course how many they could actually get, would typically be equipped with 1 machine gun. That is the light machine gun there. Panzer Grenadier squads of, Panzer Grenadier divisions and Panzer brigades and whatnot, until we have 2 light machine guns per squad, though. Fun fact. Well, technically, a lot of the Panzer brigades actually were heavily equipped with Panzer Grenadiers with assault rifles, at least the early ones. Getting the Ralph squad there. Moving up these, but I can just get to see there, he's actually hitting his opponent's fuel point. Good to start to play there by Jimmy. Crucial as always. Some players tend to perhaps be a bit more lax in field harassment, but Jimmy has got a pretty good eye for that, and so of course does Markov. Stuart light tank there for Markov. That's going to require 8 Pack 40s here for Jimmy. So at least help slow it down. Now he's going to need to lay down a lot of telemines. Quick consider rifle grenade here. Almost got these in fuel point. Again, good harassment there. Thumbs up to Jimmy. Machine gun moving west, centerwards, and again, also crucial to note with Jimmy's gameplay so far, he's using the machine gun very actively to support his troops. He doesn't just, park it in one spot and forget about it. He's using it very efficiently to win the most engagements. This is how you have to use it as the Wehrmacht. Like some people envision, just you place it down and then just forget about it and use it defensively. You don't use it to support infantry and attacks, getting the advantage that way to sort of help the Grenadiers do more of the lifting. Armoured car almost done there for Jimmy. Clearly not expecting the fast Stuart there from Markov then. Back here, bunker up for Jimmy and Germany. We've got the British manning over here. Probably just hoping to stall around any sort of attempt to get back the fuel point there. Not a bad idea. Bit risk if he gets hit from a certain angle. I mean, if Markov is aware of this, he can exploit this, bringing up more troops towards here and threaten the retreat path of the Grenadiers. So this is not without risks here for Jimmy. Not without risks. Again, I do get the idea. Grenadiers about to go out with the Stuart light tank. Armor carrying eastwards. Catch the rifle squad there. But we can see that Jimmy's now getting more back to this as Markov due to some excellent maneuvering and again, good usage of the MG42. Ralph got the push back the Grenadiers in the east. Ambulance almost on there from Markov. Got the western point here secured. Medics on the way there for the bunker. I imagine he's going to go for Pack 40 next. So theoretically, he could go for a second armoured car, at which point the 222s could actually take on the Stuart light tank with a bit of maneuvering. Obviously a bit more risky, but has some other possible advantages. Bazooka on the way with the lieutenant. Rifle grenade off. Does a bit of damage and explodes Carl. Armed car there holding back. Enforcing healing. Obviously waiting for the Pack 40 to arrive a bit here.
The enemy is taking our territory. The territory is out of contact.
Got a skirmishing there. There we go. Panzer up the Kanone field sick on the way there for Jimmy and Germany. Got the Stuart so far. He's definitely giving here Jimmy a hard time. As Markov is quick to just push in against Jimmy and exploit the lack of any anti-tank weapons in a more solid front line due to that. Against the Stuart anyways. Westwood's got the lieutenant up there. Very good. Just constantly putting pressure on his opponent. Jimmy has also yet to go for a doctrine. At this point it starts to look like Blitzkrieg already or Jaeger infantry. That said, Jaeger infantry earlier for the Jaeger command squad I think would have been pretty good. And maybe some D-43s.
New anti-tank gun has arrived.
Troops reinforcing healing. Stuart firing away there. Up here troops reinforcing healing for Markov. Mines down here from Markov briefly. Been moving in the west here. Stuart there getting blasted at. We got the airdrop coming quickly from Markov for a paratrooper squad, but also the Pack Howard, so that's going to definitely make it harder for Jimmy to play even more remotely defensively, as any sort of, static position can just be hammered by the Pack Howitzer. Another shot there. This time misses the Stuart light tank. Fairly lucky there for Markov, and certainly I imagine a moment of frustration there for Jimmy. Pack 40 moving forward here, backed up with a machine gun. Back here, troops getting ready for the next big push. I imagine here for Jimmy as well. Go. Paratroopers ready. Pack Howitzer is also ready to get crewed there. Very good. Going for the light machine guns, giving him a strong backbone and firepower versus Jimmy's Grenadiers. Excellent. For Markov, less excellent for Jimmy. Particularly since he only has one Grenadier squad equipped with light machine gun himself. He's definitely going to feel the heat here from the soon-to-be double Browning light machine gun paratroopers. Mine's been laid down to caught here by the infantry advance. Forced to cancel that. Pack corner bad spot as well here. Situation getting messy here for Jimmy as he's caught out of place and Markov looks to be, well, not exploiting this as possible, I think. Which is great for Jimmy actually. Obviously, could actually risk losing the Pack 40 here even more there to Markov. Light machine's almost done, so he runs straight in front of the heavy machine gun, despite I think at this point actually being wherever it is. Bit of a mistake there by Markov, perhaps it's just too much going on for him. Now the heavy machine team there for Jimmy to help further contain all of Markov's infantry. I think that's a very good idea there by Jimmy. You'll notice that some Verdant players, while they won't go straight away for dog machines, they will after a certain point still get another heavy machine gun team because it is fairly good and can again provide troops with some extra offensive firepower just be used defensively well to lock down enemy attacks. So good idea there by Jimmy. Thumbs up. Meanwhile, Markov of course has yet to go for single 50 cal, which is a bit surprising, considering how keen most American players are on it normally. Quick rifle. Oh, they actually caught out a heavy cover there. Got almost right up to the lieutenant. We're doing a great kill here for Jimmy. We've got to finish it off, and quite painful for Markov that had happened. Pack's moving forward back up the street. Ralph's caught in the centre there. Pearson's caught with the machine gun. We got slow pressure in the east. Pack is interesting enough all the way over there. Seems a bit ambitious by Jimmy. I think he should have kept it more towards the centre and reserve position, so that way he could react to these of the students there, but Oz could also react to the west if the student went there. Just positioning the Pack 40 over there, I think, is a curious decision by Jimmy. They're still yet to go for Doctrine. Brings again the Ralph score, they're getting some damage in. Pack counter firing down here on Jimmy's positions. Page was caught the heavy machine gun team there. Clearly was not expecting the second heavy machine gun there, so thumbs up. Which reminds me of a slight trick the Germans actually had in Normandy for against the Americans for using machine guns. They'd actually have two machine guns. One would fire tracer rounds at a certain height, but then they'd have another machine gun without tracer rounds set lower, so the Americans think, okay, the machine can't hit there, we just need to keep the heads down, and then the second machine gun at that point will start opening up on them without the tracer rounds. The Americans could completely freak out. So, little fun one there. 50 cal away there for Markov. Then it's being hammered there by the Pack howitzer. Graham needs some victory point. We got 469, so 59. So far, a fairly nice lead here for Jimmy over Markov. Certainly, the second 4-2 allows him to further stabilize the front line versus Markov. Of course, he can't rely on the machine, it's just been in the same position for long because, again, of the Pack howitzer. Going for the center fuel point again. Good harassment. Thumbs up to Jimmy. Thumbs up. He's also taking up there. Very good. Meanwhile, Markov's yet to take up, partly due to manpower bleed, I think. Make it difficult to spare the manpower to go for the major. Moving 14 backed up the armored car against Rosport, pushing them back. Markov, of course, may also want to consider a weapon rack in the near future. Equip his men with BARs. Give himself a nice firepower boost versus Jimmy's Grenadiers. Machine gun once more moving forward. Need to be careful here.
Our opponents are seizing a sector.
Moving forward as well. Pack 40 is in more of a reserve position now, so they can more easily respond. They've been all the way over the east. Ooh, almost getting a wipe here on Markov. That's going to suck for him a bit. There we go. Got the kill. Stood them moving forward to avenge the fallen, only to get hit by the Pack 40. Parachute to bring through the Sentinel machine team there. Catching the Pack 40 could actually wipe it out. Would be a bit painful there. We go to lose the experience for Jimmy's anti-tank gun crew. Paratroopers on themselves are now getting utterly mauled. Some fierce combat here between Jimmy and Markov here at the 30-minute mark. Armored car going for the contemporary wipe here. 50 car firing away, but not enough. Gets them out of the armored car. Continuing forces can prevent the Paratroop getting back to the armored car. Close call here for Markov. Very close call. And there you go. Armored car picks them go down here. Yup. Kaput. These take on this with the echelons. And the Pack crew still remains very dead, and the Pack remains very abandoned. So Polmark up there, very good. Could go for an Osprey or a Panther 4 here. Markov still not taking up. The Major's apparently still on a lunch break. With 3 martinis in it. Ground Western point there. Got the Pack 40.
Light artillery awaits your orders. G43 rifles, interrogation training, and detection avoidance available to all combat infantry.
Machine Captain Ralph squad there. Bit of quad here now, but we got most of the map back on the control here of Markov. Good return there. 7 kills in that Stud light tank. Close to veteran 2. Getting a third gun squad. Got a lot of machines. Also lost one gun squad at some point. He's finally gone for Jaeger Infantry, but definitely I would say that one is late. I think he would benefit a lot from an early Jaeger command squad here versus Markov plus from D43. So definitely suboptimal play there, I'd say, by Jim in terms of doctrine use. I mean, it's better he goes for it eventually. Obviously, doesn't wait for too long either, but 15-40 minute mark choice there for Jaeger Infantry is definitely on the later end of the spectrum, and definitely uses a lot of the utility of the doctrine earlier on and some of the strengths. So suboptimal. Pairs there being hosed down steadily. Machine gun needs to get away. Packard finally down. Oh, yes, does get away on the machine gun team. Another stinging blow there to Jimmy. Stuart there gaining Richie 2 as it tears through the goddamn Nazis' lands. Pairs being forced under Markov's men. Lieutenant backing up here. 5 kills, Richie 2. Pioneers being forced to try and recruit, but it's under so much fire heat, particularly the Pirates could clear out the Pioneers as they try that, so pretty risky here for them. Lieutenant's making the run there, going to have to grab it here under submission. There we go. Bit lucky the Pirates were retreating, but still fairly dicey here for Jimmy. Markov still not taking up, by the way. This is great for Jimmy. Could actually, I think, open up for an Austrian rush here. Well, no, we actually got the captain out now, by the way, for Markov instead of the major. That is a slightly peculiar choice, in my opinion. So now Jimmy could go for the Ostwind. Of course, maybe let's also decide, considering the situation, to go for the Pentacle. There you go. Ostwind is on the way for Jimmy. Very nice here. Obviously, 60-minute mark. A bit risky. Then again, he's probably got a feel for the situation. Again, he's actually had some resource control, so can't see it work. But the 60-minute mark is still a bit risky. But from our perspective, it does make a ton of sense. Markov's pretty much only got infantry, he's also in the captain. He probably also is away, so the opponent's not going to hit him with tanks anytime soon. So there's definitely some wiggle room there for the Ostwind versus Markov.
We're losing a capture point.
Of course, he is going for the anti-tank, which will be a problem for the Ostwind, but not as big as a problem, say, a tank would be. Black Panther going forwards. Pioneers moving forward to catching the Packharzer. We'll start the situation getting more awkward here. Flak Panzer rushing in there for Deutschland. Rear, so then be careful. The Ostwind could quickly knock that building down and kill the Rear inside, which would be pretty great for Jimmy. There we go. Collapse. Rear squad wiped. The Ostwind is very good at dealing with garrison units, mostly because it can quickly knock down the building and killing the unit inside because of that. Jaeger command squad at the 17-minute mark for Jimmy. Better late than never, I suppose, but really would have benefited from this unit sooner. Black Panther being returned and captain out in the open there. 2 kills so far, 3 kills. Artillery called in the 5th down the pack cards as well. Captain's about to get murdered out here if Markov is not careful. Directly killed here by the artillery in retreat, which is very unlucky. Well, in this case, he's very lucky and not a single shot hits them. But there you go, anti-tank ready to deal with those crap panzers. And there you go, good hit there. Flak Panther down to half health already. Need to get that Flak Panther fixed up. And Schnell. We got 358 to 317. Jimmy continues to enjoy victory point either Markov, but it is slowly shrinking in there. Slowly. Here come up coming up. He could throw a smoke grenade. I don't think that'd be a half bad idea here from Jimmy. Machine there close being wiped out. Some use Pioneers being forward. Flaps got pushed back. Ostwind, they still need repairs. Getting a bit risky there. He knows the anti-tank is nearby, and the anti-tank can quickly clear out the Ostwind if Jimmy's not careful. So he really should prioritize getting that fixed up before anything else at this point. Almost. Oh, he actually did get the 5th kill. Pretty close call there, though. Purpose and captain there proving to be a problem. Recruit again. We're going to try and clear it up again, I think. Routed. Flak Panther taking ground here. Anti-tank shoots, misses the Ostwind narrowly. 8 kills on the Flak Panther already, though. Focusing on the Pirates was first. I think that's a good priority there. Captain making run for the light machines, getting even more heavily equipped there. Also shoots out this gun before the Packharzer annihilates them. About to fix up the Ostwind there, very good. Markov has finally gone for the major and has plenty of fuel, so you can easily just push for a couple of tanks now versus Jamie and below him. You could also go for Jackson, Scots, but I think a pair of Shermans first would be a very solid first priority there by Markov. Going using eastwards, got the centre there. Flak punch being fixed up. Major being suppressed. 5th Cavalry tensioning up westwards. Ralph's called me anti-tanking as well there, looking to threaten his opponent's fuel point again. Ralph's called east for the Grenadier. And of course, cuts that threatening the opponent's fuel point again as well. Stewart is still alive. Really good work keeping one alive there with Markov. Thumbs up to that. Excellent unit preservation there, always good to see. Flak Panzer is almost good to have for Jamie. Almost. Could go for Stugen, obviously. Could also just save it for the last one. He could also go for the Panzer IV. Goes for a Pack 40. I guess, but I think with the Packard, they're going for too many anti-tankers and all the stuff that I think is a bit risky, since the Packard can technically they're not fast, plus there's also these up against Recon support. I'm not entirely sure he was aware of that though, but he should be. Yeah, he should be, thanks to the parity we're seeing, of course, the Packard. Ooh, this is okay, but there's also cluster bomb, so relying too much on support against Markov's current force composition and build is pretty risky for Jimmy, since a lot of stuff they can quickly out his support weapons. Stewart abandoned, but not destroyed. That was a bit lucky there for Markov. Flak Panther gaining 11 kills, veteran to 1, second Pack 40 ready. They want to get the gunners into heavy cover against the captain with his light machine gun and his BAR. Machine gun up the centre, interesting setup there. Driven falls in healing. Jaeger command squad launching for the centre. We've got the Pack after firing. We've got 9 kills on it, veteran 2-1. Stun armor here from Markov and his base. It remains silent. There you go. Pack squad up the command squad, roughing it off. He paired with doing the rest of cover. We got 15 kills. Worth noting, he has not replaced the drop light machines in the squad, which is a bit interesting. You'd figure that would be a priority, but I guess he's too preoccupied with other things. Despite floating 600 munitions. Come on, Markov. Go for some weapon next to and get your men some BARs. Maybe some candy bars as well. "13 kills on the Flak Panzer. So light tank recruit and somehow expected to hold its way all the way back there. Thankless task for the Major. Very close between that Flak Panzer. It's doing a fairly good job here for Jimmy so far, so thumbs up to that one. Showing the way for Markov finally, very good. Jimmy still needs some Panzer Waffe to assist the Flak Panzer. Still there, she's still being maneuvered backwards despite the engine being on fire. And there we go, knocked out here by the Flak Panzer. I can imagine the Major's last words was like, "Not like this," and then boom. Sherman halfway done there for Markov. Very close to 22, which gives it a small rate of fire bonus, but also, you know, improves its anti-aircraft performance significantly. Continue to go for the Panther 4 here, the Panzerkampfwagen IV. We got 336 to 223. Sherman ready for Markov. Adding the 50 cal there on top, very good. Quickly maneuver to get it out of action. Has its way fast. Down to less than half health. In fact, I think it's down to quarter health. Sherman on the move. They need to get Osprey out of there fast. There we go. Markov is still flooding an absurd amount of munitions though. Really needs to fix up. So we got to push forward with the command rifling it off. They're causing heavy casualties from Markov's infantry. Paratroopers are covering the entire scene. Still not being upgraded with an additional light machine gun there. Sherman being pushed back with the Pack 40s. Almost got it. Osprey doing interesting in some shots as well. Bold maneuver there by Jamie. Could have cost him the Osprey. He was very unlucky. Machine getting hammered out of the coward set. Bagger base. closing in on another tank, but so far is not committing to more armor here versus Markov.
Our opponents are seizing a sector. Panzer Grenadiers standing by.
Replacement Jaeger command squad or any armor. Interesting choice there. I mean, it's good he replaces it, but I think he should have gone for another, you know, say a Panzer IV here before committing to more infantry since he already has 3 infantry squads. So I feel like this is a slightly awkward priority there by Jimmy. Though not the end of the world. Markov though really needs to, like, you know, get some munitions. Oh, there he goes. Finally going for weapon racks, realizing he's got a lot of munitions stored away. Excuse me, Commander, but if you don't spend up all that munitions by, you know, the 5th of June, all your munitions will be void. God damn it. Gotta spend it all fast then. Open up the weapon racks. Yeehaw! Anyways, Grand Western point there. Yeah, command squad has been 14, gauging the 50 cal there. Holding an artillery as well. The light infantry shots. Fine way there. Rifle being hammered there. Artillery farm taking out the 50 cal. Close call there from Markov, but luck pulls through for him. Black Panther's good to go again. Still no additional armor here for Jimmy. Is he planning to default? Nope, thankfully not. In the far west, we actually got Markov going for a flank with the captain. Thumbs up there, very good. Predators, by the way, still only equipped with 1 light machine gun. Shamanista causing some havoc there on the right flank for Jimmy. Black Panther charging forward. There you go. Betty 2 for the Black Panther. Increased rate of fire just allowing to kill infantry even more swiftly and efficiently. Cluster bombs called in there on the machine gun. Fun fact about the M83 cluster bombs, they're actually a straight up copy of the German butterfly bombs. Fun fact there. Head for them, then the Sherman down to half health. Panther fastening as well. Good shot there. And the send more trooping forwards here. Could go for another Sherman, and Jimmy really needs to go for a Panther Force with Stooks. But some sort of decision definitely has to be made for Jimmy. Eastern Point mixed with the Pioneer. Machine rolling back here for Jimmy. Flag Panther move once more here for Jimmy and Deutschland. Finally got those weapon racks being used here. A lot of munitions being spent finally. Men being equipped to the hilt with BARs and freedom. Paired with squads, still not allowed a second light machine gun, I guess.
Our foes to 100 points.
Petrolling forwards here. Captain advancing, Pioneers call back. Got some S-mounts down there from Jimmy. Thumbs up. That set, the point he placed them is perhaps less efficient there for him. Oh, nice use there. Colt catches up the Predator. Colt taking food. We've got Silly Cold in there though. Cluster bombs again here, forcing Jimmy to position him, pushing 40. Flag Panther backing up. Cluster bombs raining down slowly like very deadly raindrops, causing the entire field to explode. Osprey there. Down to half health from the anti-tank, and there Sherman forward. Still no additional armor here from Jimmy. A definite problem there. Grenade off, hunting up the Grenadier squad. Still nothing going on in Jimmy's base. I mean, he's fighting 300 fuel. I mean, admittedly so is Markov, and Markov also needs to go from armor, but Jimmy also really should. It's not been able to both players, which is unfortunate because they all, I would say, been doing fairly well until now, but flooding that much fuel and just not getting tanks feels a bit off. We got P36 for 64. I mean, Jimmy's got a big 2-point lead, and I'm surprised he's just not pushing for more tanks than trying, you know, just win by that now. Definitely not cool. And of course, somebody Markov really should not be throwing this many resources when he's this close to the precipice of defeat. Another anti-tank for Markov, not additional tanks. As for Jimmy, we finally get a Panther 4 there, but good lord, that took him forever to get out.
The capture point is being overrun.
That took him forever. Yeah, command squad thinks us to return the east. We got more cluster bombs against Jimmy. He's definitely starting to realize, you know, this is pretty good. He's starting to call in a lot here versus Jimmy. Machine crew having almost taken out by the cluster bombs, but in fact even more close to just being annihilated. And he's still got finishing command across the lieutenant. We've got two tanks from the north. Panther almost done. Markov still just a one Sherman man. Panther 4 right about the corner here for Jimmy. Prepared to start coming towards the centre. Your command to call out in the open. Prepared to being sawn to bits. The light machine fight gun is something worked out. This was the rifle squad. West side here we got the machine and they're just waiting for anything to happen. I feel like it's a bit too passive here by Jimmy, to be honest. I also feel like Jimmy needs to try and flank his opponent more. Like he's lost kind of, I would say that initial spark he had was much better, hitting resources and that. His opponent's not just focusing too much in the center. And Markov's also kind of falling into that pattern of tunnel vision. So definitely a problem there for both sides. One thing is, Markov at least has artillery and access to smoke, whereas Jimmy doesn't have access to that. He's not gone for, say, a mortar to at least provide him with those sources. So bit of a problem there for Jimmy, possibly. Bit of a problem, depending how well Markov will exploit. And there you go, more cluster bombs. Osman then down repairs of this, halfway to the east level. 302 versus 64. I mean, Markov has managed to keep the victory points stable at 64 for now, at least fairly impressive. But again, it has helped him quite immensely that, again, Jamie just hasn't been using his resources as efficiently as he can. And tactically, as also, I think they're playing a bit less than supremely well. Jonathan hits from double packs, quickly taken out. Jaeger command got charge for choosing the sprint ability. Thumbs up. Almost got the Sherman there, but the second volley completely misses the target, killing more squirrels than killing American tankers. Black Panther then in down repairs. Obviously, at this point, also with more armor, Jamie should try and consider more pioneers to repair them faster. Markov with the Scott for some self-propelled artillery. He's also still doing some action on the left flank, whereas again, Jamie's focusing so much here on just this small part here and just ignoring the rest of the map, which definitely concedes initiative and momentum to Markov, which is not what you want to do as the Germans. I mean, generally don't want to do it, but in particular with the Wehrmacht, you really do not want to do that. As much as possible, you want to be the aggressor, the attacker, the one who calls the shots and, shoots people. Got almost on there for Markov. That's going to probably push him up to 2 artillery pieces, whereas Jimmy is still operating with no artillery pieces. Almost got the 8 command spot there again, machine in the fine way, halfway to the east level. Flag Panther repaired. Scott almost on there for Markov. Infantry pouring through the centre on the east side here. Jimmy being held up here a bit by Markov's right wing, but not that much either. Bit thinly defended there. East of the machine corps with the lieutenant and the captain. Quickly rounded there as Markov shows no mercy to the Nazis. In the Sherman 14, 9 kills, half HV2. Pack following forwards, Panther forming in as well there. Jaeger Markov goes in with the rifle lieutenant and captain. Double packs from the Sherman, punching several large holes into the hull. On the west side we get the Panther with the rifle port, Scott there nearby as well. Didn't do anything except look snazzy. Black Panther almost fixed up. Needs more armor there, Mr. Jimmy, and Markov obviously would also benefit from a nice influx of tanks. Black Panther there halfway still to Betson's feet. Panther being pushed back as it's halfway to Betson's 1. Anthony's doing a lot of damage. Ace little, by the way. Fairly dangerous with tanks. Telephone just raining down there on Jimmy's Grenadiers. We got 240 versus 654 still. I mean, Jimmy just continues to bleed, and tactically he's just repeating the same few moves, it feels like, over and over again, hoping that at some point Markov commits to mistake, which is typically not, I would say, the most optimal way to play the game, as it used to just mean you're playing, in fact, incredibly reactively and passively and just hoping your opponent, does something dumb. In other words, you're hoping you get lucky, which is in terms of strategy, yet a fairly risky one. Until he called in here against Markov. 50 kills with Dome, halfway wiped out. Everyone forwards there, 30 kills. Still not upgrade with the second map machine gun. At least the machine crew gets his debt there for the sake of Jimmy Osman arriving. 19 kills. Once we got the Panther 4 there holding off the verdant ammo he can, and the image advancing in the centre, got the Sherman there. Could call in another tank now, but he's just splitting resources. He's planning to force still not, thankfully, but should go for more armour and more infantry. Almost got the Panther 4 there and the Lieutenant both. There we go. Panther 4 down, Lieutenant lives. Close call there for Markov. I'll slap across the face with Jimmy. Still not going for more armour here versus Markov. There we go, another Panther 4 fighting machine. Jaeger could advance there for Deutschland. Western point seized by the Pioneer. Anti-tanks fully falling back. Here's Markov gets ready for the next big push by the Germans. And there we go, Pax trying to catch the Scot. There we go, almost got it, almost got it. He's not moving the Scot. Oh, shot missed. Second shot misses as well. Really lucky there for Markov. Really lucky. East side, we've got the Sherman getting the Jaeger command squad. 90% support there. Panther 4 halfway down in the Osprint. Could try and do more on the left flank, I think, versus Markov. Definitely should avoid the centre for now due to the anti-tank. And from the flanks, I'd definitely say there's plenty there that Jimmy could do with the Flak Panzer against Markov. Pretty of the machine, pushing him back. We got 195 to 64 still. Markov remains a utter rock here against Jimmy. A bastion of democracy and freedom in the face of the Kraut Scourge. Shumming about his 16 kills, 22 cat moving westwards there. Got the Panther ready there for Jimmy. Got the western point there. Black Panzer, half 8 to Destiny 3. Panther moves back to the captain. Sherman there, 16 kills, Veteran 2. Jimmy finally trying to put some more pressure on the right flank. Fairly late at this stage, fairly late. And the question is, can they actually amass enough force to pull it off properly? Flak Panzer's looming ahead here. I mean, if you could unleash an ace Flak Panzer in the rear here of Markov's forces, that'd be amazing for Jimmy. As long as he can coordinate with the rest of his forces, you know, correctly. Otherwise, the offense is going to get focused down, and Jimmy's going to feel fairly set. Another cluster bomb in the centre. Flak Panzer going for the flank here. But there's not really much coordination with the rest of the forces, as things are already falling apart. There's an area he quickly backs off, realising the Ostman just get destroyed. Shattered. Cluster bomb from Western Victory Point. We got 149 versus 64. Markov continues to hold here. Then squad about to go wipe down another blow to Jimmy and the German army. There goes Sherman wipes the retreating straggler there. 35 kills on those paratroopers. They're really doing great work there for Markov. As you can see, they're absolutely amazing investment. Always out that pack howitzer. Ostman catching rifle perhaps in the east or not. We got 137 to 64. Rifle getting him by the Flak Panzer. Panther was the Sherman, Pax coming in as well. Flak Panzer remains almost forgotten here, but Jimmy unfortunately has done such a great work for him, and then he just started doing nothing there for Jimmy because he just forgets about it and does nothing with it, which is definitely suboptimal. Great though for Markov. There you go, 22 kills, almost ace level now. Imagine if he just got into ace level soon and just really start doing a little damage to Markov's infantry. I think he'll be in a much greater position and perhaps in like a winning position. But again, he just seemingly lost his nerve here versus Markov, which is always dangerous. They are marked, always dangerous. Jackson went for Markov to the corner in the center. We got 98 versus 64. Pioneers from the west side. We got the captain watching over here in the center. Scott plus 50 cows and paratroopers coming there. And east side we get the intentions and Sherman. Meanwhile, forces is low-flying part pack for being hosed down. Machine Prime coming far there, but is not quite doing the full Monty there, it seems like. And Appliance getting hammered by artillery. Jackson almost done for Markov. We got 84 versus 64. Whatever dreams of glory Jimmy's had now seem to be but a memory. mere phantom. Sham pushing forwards here. Pack forward and sending completely wiped out as well. That things are just rapidly deteriorating for Jimmy now. Pioneer's being forced, getting hammered here from all sides. Sherman Tanks, we've got the Scott rushing force here as well. 11 kills, almost been 2, and there we go. Pack crew wiped out. That is both pack gunner crews dead. Panther's left in the Ostwind. And sadly though, Jimmy's just not getting much mileage out of the now here versus Markov. 83 versus 64. Destroying the anti-tank guns, so holding away with them. Down it goes. And the Jackson's ready as well here. So there we go. That I'd say looks very much like GG here for Jimmy. That looks like GG. I mean, that could also be a surprise here, but at this stage, yeah, that is game over. Ultimately, though, Jimmy definitely had a good early mid game. The problem sort of rather happened, which you see with a lot of players, is they can have a good early to mid game, but rather around the mid game, something happens, they just lose the nerve, they start playing too defensive, they start focusing too much on the center of the map. That is around here, utilizing the flanks of the map here. For example, like trying to outmaneuver their opponent using the firepower more smartly, which is really important as the Wehrmacht. And that, I think, basically just ground out Jimmy and just allowed Markov to slowly but surely win the game, because Jimmy never really, leveraged the Wehrmacht's firepower and speed in any meaningful way versus Markov, and just slowly died out. Plus, the late Doctrine, I think, didn't help him out either there. So, definitely some room for improvement there for Jimmy. I think a mortar, for example, earlier would have done great, and of course, more armor sooner. Plus, more flanking, more attempts to outmaneuver Markov instead of just fighting over the center repeatedly. So there you go. Hope you enjoyed this match. Hope you learned something from it. If you did, subscribe, like, share, comment on it. Tell friends, tell family. Don't tell enemies. This is Imperial Links and cheers. Thank you for watching. Chill tomorrow again for a nice episode. Bye.